The top of every mountain is the bottom of another. The top of every mountain is the bottom of another. Run for cover, you'll discover some will thrive and others suffer. Cause the top of every mountain is the bottom of another. Ooh, don't wait, don't hesitate. Better speak the truth, let it resonate and let it detonate and get blown away. Till you keep on rising to a higher place. Can't stop, won't stop, don't stop coming till we hit the top. Gotta keep pushing till the day I make it. Since they won't give it to me, then I got to take it. The pain today is power tomorrow. Keep on coming, but you'll never catch me running. Cause I won't bow down. No matter what they say, I wouldn't do it any other way. Keep on coming, but you'll never catch me running. Cause I won't bow down. The top of every mountain is the bottom of another. The top of every mountain is the bottom of another. Not enough to keep us smothered. Lower class, never the upper. Cause the top of every mountain is the bottom of a...
Good evening, UN Spacey Wolf Squad. This is your Wolf Commander Wolf 10. I'm your werewolf, and tonight we are going to break off Dom's schedule for a bit to talk about something off the cuff, and it's going to be something more positive as usual. We're trying to steer towards more of a positive move with this series of my channel. We're going to talk about tropes that we like. And I'm here with the Hound of the South, Dominic Powell.
Good evening, morning, or afternoon, everyone. This is the Hound of the South, Dominic Powell, and welcome to tonight's episode of Real Millennials.
I have an aspiring writer, the Warrior of Life Final Fantasy Fan 12.
Greetings to viewers and my fellow Final Fantasy fans. This is Final Fantasy Fan 12 here, and welcome back to another live stream of the UN Spacey Wolf Squad. And today, we are back with another episode of the Real Millennials, talking about our favorite tropes in fiction.
First off, Final, explain to the audience, like, what are tropes?
Tropes, in a nutshell, are your tools in writing. Basically, whenever there is any story that you would read or watch, or even play in the case of games, there are always certain tropes that will come up that you will notice if you begin to look, and with a lot of aspiring writers, especially like myself, that would know where to look for that, you would know that the tropes are tools as the building blocks for your story in order for this to work.
In other words, they're storytelling devices that have been around since time immemorial.
Yes.
Now, granted, like there have been cases where there have been some new tropes that have developed, well, like as time went on, but more often than not like these tropes like have been around since before any of us were born. One of the most well-known examples of a trope is the damsel in distress, and in spite of what the usual suspects try to sell to people, it is not inherently a bad trope, and there's a reason why it has endured for centuries.
Yeah.
Let me also step in and also bring up that we just might talk about tropes that we don't like. And we have the lovely lady of Valorless plus size with her favorite baby.
She's done with the Darth Sidious laugh.
What?
Dom made Dom's laugh. He sounded like Darth Sidious.
Well, if he wants to be Darth Sidious, it has to be more.
Well, good evening, everybody. This is their Passage, lovely lady of Valor. Sorry I'm late, but you got things have to be done. If you hear a noise, yes, that is my fan because it's burning up here in Michigan. And so I've got to leave this fan on. It is just 80 degrees right now.
80 degrees?
Well, we were near 100 today, but the temperature only dropped down. That's why that fan has to stay on.
We have to start on because our insulation is compacting the heat.
Huh. Well, that's actually a way for anyone to have cool air, especially if they're using a fan. Actually, get like two frozen water balls and actually place them on the back of your fan. That way you're actually getting cool air,
Yeah,
Hmm.
basically make a makeshift air conditioner.
and it works.
Write it down, people.
I'm writing it down now. Right now, I have it in the window, and the air seems to be blowing in pretty good. But I will keep that in mind because I did not know that. So Dom has taught me something new today.
To catch you up, Leia, we're talking about story writing tools that work for us, that we enjoy, that we like, that we love when it's used multiple times, can't get enough of whenever time it's implemented and implemented correctly as well. So, it,
We're talking about tropes.
Yeah, I saw that in the thumbnail, and I was about to ask: is there anything specific? Is it a trope in a genre? Is it a
just shows that you like or things that's familiar to you that comes up for you that you just automatically love, just automatically appreciate.
For example, like earlier, I brought up the damsel in distress, and I brought also that it's not like what the usual suspects, aka the feminists, the SJ hoes, and like try to sell people.
Yeah, I was about to mention that one. If the best damsel in distress trope for me that works for me is, I've got to be honest here, of course, to me is Princess Leia. Ever since I was a kid, because basically she is a damsel in distress, but not in the traditional sense, but not in a girl boss way, which is why Leia has always been my favorite, all time favorite character ever since seeing the movie. Because we know in the first
Don't
film,
remain that way.
she has to be, it's typical, got to go rescue the princess, but it's done in a way that it's, it's not over the top. So
Or really to put it another way, or like whenever the damsel in distress trope is utilized, it does not make the female character weak.
Yeah,
right.
because in order for the damsel in distress for it to work, is that the damsel would have to be in distress, and for the damsel to be in distress, she has to be in a situation that she cannot get out of. In spite of having maybe some form of capability, she'd be trapped in something that not even her abilities can get her out.
Not to mention, like it actually provides stakes for the conflict.
Yes.
Well, see, that's how I see. And correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm hoping following it right. But I was thinking about this the other day when I was talking to, when I was in my classic '80s stream. We were talking about, uh, our favorite characters, and that's again when you bring up damsel in distress, I can't help but to lean on towards Princess Leia because, I mean, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think she ever was. Well, she's probably, we all know she's perfectly capable of caring for herself. We saw that very clearly,
Yeah.
but we also saw that it didn't take away from her or weaken her because of the fact that, Luke wanted to rescue her, or
Well,
they had come to rescue her.
let me just summarize or enlighten my interpretation of the sequence of events that put her there, and probably shed some light as to why you guys feel that way. Probably why you guys see it so differently and come to admire it. Come to admire how George Lucas himself and many other writers framed her and evolved her throughout the original trilogy, if you will. Regale, humor me on this one. Y'all ready?
Sure,
Just go and say it.
go right ahead. Now, I just want to say before you start, I want to say Leia is for me. You guys may have other examples of damsel in distress, but that's the first one that comes to my mind that stuck with me forever. But go ahead, Dad. You can go ahead.
Well, thing is the fact of the matter is when you when you see it, the first impression of her is she is a diplomat for one. So if nothing else, the villains themselves can't really they can't really make a move to execute her unless they have actual evidence to give that order. Otherwise, it'll just be them doing something unsolicited and illegal. So, like, before they execute her, they have to get a confession out of her. That's why Vader brought in that drone. Not only that,
Hmm.
she also has valuable contraband or information that's going to put the Empire, you know, in danger of destruction due to the fact that she had the Death Star plans with her. Um, she had them originally, but she gave them. We all know the story. She gave them to R2, so they can't really kill her just yet. And even if they do recover the plans, they can't really outright kill her unless they have to first pin her as they have to convict her in an act of terrorism, right, or
Right.
insurrection.
Hmm.
There's that. She's not really a damsel in distress per se. She was arrested because a damsel in distress would mean they were captured and taken prisoner. She was detained, so to speak, because she was already on her skiff, not skiff, but the personal transport firing back, and she already has to make up a bullshit story to try to fool Vader of why she's traveling in this airspace here and there, right, while they're pursuing her.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yes.
for one, yeah, that's the reason why that's one of the reasons why you can't see her as a complete damsel in distress. Like, who's to say that if Luke and the party that formed to go rescue her didn't show up, what would become of her by then? Like again, Vader can't really do anything to her yet until they recover the Death Star plans. And even if he did recover it, there's no way he couldn't kill her or execute her without cause. Though he would like to do it because he's evil, he's menacing, you know he's Darth Vader. We all know that.
Hmm.
Easily he could either break her neck with his own mechanical hand, or he could force choke her if he so please, or cut her down with his lightsaber if he so please. But here's another thing: is once she gets rescued, she ceases to be that damsel in distress at all because she contributes to the escape. She doesn't become a liability, and even if she wasn't skillful, she's not going to get in the hero's way either. But she's also going to criticize their attempts and their efforts, of course, because she's a high. You know,
Hmm.
she expects better
Well,
in that.
she's yes. She says it herself in the film. You're right. She says it when she says, "This is She tells him some rescue you guys come up with."
Yeah,
So yeah.
she's very feisty, sassy, sarcastic, a bit snooty, but she compliments Luke here and there though. But really, when in regards to Han, she's always the bad boy. Granted, when we get to Empire Strikes Back, she's a very confident leader, competent leader at even at that. Again, once again, she's very very productive when assisting in high stress situations, like the whole pursuit of the Imperial fleet behind them after they leave Hoth. So she takes control of the Falcon's controls because two pilots pilot the Millennium Falcon. So Chewie's mostly relegated to the controls of the Falcon, and somebody has to assist them. So while Han goes to check on the hyperdrive, see what the hell is going on, Leia's at the control of the as co-pilot. So like I said, she may have been a damsel, but she's a interesting damsel because she's a competent damsel, and
What?
those are rare these days, or at least they're less they're she was also less obnoxious as the previous damsels that we got during the 2000s. We had some very obnoxious damsels in the 2000s too, mind you.
Mhm.
We also have these anti damsels of today, where they put them in these captured situations and detained situations, and then somehow they find their way out of the situation and seem to know their way around the facility for some reason.
which is unrealistic.
Which is why I'm
Yes.
like, you might as well just keep them in the goddamn, sorry, Mama Chelly, in the damn prison, because this is I find them knowing their way out of the situation very far fetched. Granted, if we apply, and I usually do, apply this to say real life, right? It is rare when a hostage or a captured being find their way out of a situation and find their way home. It's rare. It's not. I'm not saying it's impossible. What I am saying is that we we, we need to stop pretending that everybody's going to figure out something in every bad situation. Not unless they have proper training or proper schooling on what to do. 9 times out of 10, if there is some schooling when it comes to being detained or captured by assailants and traffickers and the like, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna tell you stay your ass in the damn containment. Don't even try to attempt escape unless you really know your way around back home, because you don't really know where they're gonna take you, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But I digress. That the thing is with the distressed damsel, if done right, we tend to overlook their uselessness in certain situations, depending on the circumstances and their skill set. If they're going to be ratting their mouth off all the time, trying to be, you know, um, Miss Know It All or Mister Know It All, if the distressed damsel happened to be a male, then we get annoyed because where was all that that knowledge when you were in containment? One thing
Okay.
one thing I want to highlight as well is when people were bitching about Black Widow being quote unquote distressed damsel in Ultron's prison. Never mind the fact that if it weren't for her, the rest of the Avengers would not have found where Ultron is. We're
But I
talking
didn't.
about we're talking about Black Widow, which is getting captured is her forte. Wh- did
Mhm.
everybody forget how when in the movie Marvel's of the Avengers, her first introduction was in captivity and integration, and she got out of that just fine.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, the reason why she didn't jump out of that cell was because she was surrounded by millions upon millions upon millions of Ultron bots. You think she gonna fight her own way out of that? Let alone sneak her way?
I never saw her as damsel in distress in Ultron. I was like you. I never felt that she was, weak at that moment. I kind of was thinking the way you were thinking, Wolf. I said,
Yeah,
yeah,
soon as she
she's
does the
she's
voice
she's used
call.
to that. She'll find a way to either get out of it or get them, lead them to him. So I figured that I think she knows what she's doing.
I mean, like the more she started doing the voice call, like oh snap, there you go, there you go, Natasha. That's right, that's right. But I was baffled when I was hearing that. It's like they made our girl a damsel in distress. Like no, she was not.
No, I never got that vibe. I kind of was like you. I don't know where that was coming from. I never once felt that she was distressed. Yeah, I heard some people say, yeah, she was in distress and they had to go rescue her because she was captured. What did you see the movie?
I mean,
I
be
never
it,
got that.
be it as it may, you don't want them to go rescue her? You just want her to you just want them to leave her to die? Potentially?
Yeah,
They're
like,
a team.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. In fact, you're dealing with Ultron here.
But they're mad because she's the only female in the team that got captured.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah.
That's their attitude behind it is the fact that she's the female, and of course she's gonna get captured because she's female. No, she actually went out of her way to put herself on the line as she always does, and she did multiple times in the first film, the first Avengers film.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She
But
put
and
herself on the line every single time. Shoot, she went into the fray to go fry the machine that was opened up the portal,
mm-hmm.
despite the fact that she was flying on a wild flying machine while all the dudes
yeah,
were
which
trying to
is
hold
all
everybody
alien
safe.
tech, by the by, in the first movie.
Yeah, she was doing all of that, and I'm like, but her waiting for her comrades to come pick her up for some reason diminishes her skills
Yeah,
and
and
her as a
actually,
character.
yeah, and actually, now that you brought that up, let me think of another Marvel character, Sue Storm from the Fantastic Four. In in both the Jack Kirby, Stan Lee Fantastic Four run and the 1994 Fantastic Four, we see often that Sue would get captured and overpowered by a lot of people that are either far more powerful than her or just outwitted her on occasion, and the Fantastic Four would still go out of their way to find her, including Reed, because that's what the Fantastic Four are. They are a team.
They are a team and a family too. So it's
Other,
like Wolf said. You think I'm just gonna let you wait for you to die, even though I know you can take care of yourself? But you think we're just gonna let you sit there and
Yeah,
just, oh well, we just go, if they die, they die. No,
yeah. Heck, there was even in
we're gonna
one
get you.
episode. There was even in one episode of the first season of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe where I forgot. I think it was in the second episode where Tila was off on her own to fight Skeletor, but then she's already being set up for a trap, and then Orko already noticed that, so then goes to tell Adam about it, and then he's like, "Yeah, I know Tila's a strong warrior, but she can't handle everything on her own." So then he goes out there to go get her before it's too late.
yeah, they
You're
really think that women are just god tier competent and skilled that they should be able to solve just about every problem that they face with no man. And I'm like, but they also want to have it both ways as well, which is also baffling. It really
yes,
gets on my nerves. They always want to have it both ways, where when they're finally facing the wall, yes, I'm gonna use that freaking phrase. When they hit that wall, then they want a man to show up and save them. Apparently,
Yeah,
um, ladies, you cannot. You need to stop trying to have it both ways. That's the reason why. That's the reason why y'all so pissed off all the damn times that y'all always want everything to have it both ways and all the ways, and you mad when both ways contradict each other.
yeah,
That's why y'all so mad because everything I don't mean to turn this into a rant stream. Let's
go
move on
ahead.
to the
yeah,
next
yeah.
trope.
And
We already heard from Leia, so let's go to final. What is your favorite trope?
Favorite trope? Usually, it's the themes of light and darkness, and of course, shocker of all shock, Final Fantasy. But this is also what, in my opinion, would actually make a story work is with contrasting themes. Because, and given that Final Fantasy is constantly dealing with conflicts between dual natures, because duality plays a larger theme throughout the entire series,
Real quick, what was the name again?
what
What was the name of the trope that you like?
the duality of light and darkness,
Okay, continue.
given that that's already part of the nature of the series, it's always dealing with always dealing with dual nature.
Hmm.
Given that it's either light and darkness or something else entirely. Usually it's magic versus technology, or sometimes science. Heck, Star Wars even has this that's integral to the story between the light and dark sides of the Force. In my opinion, this is what gives contrast to that, and that gives a strong contrast, and that's also what gives rise to the conflicts and everything else that happens and how people react to both sides.
Are you saying the contradiction be like a dark as far as a character or just the overall story of light and darkness? So you say maybe a character that has both
He's
good side and evil side, and they're
Yes.
battling within each other.
in
Okay,
Yes.
simplest term, he enjoys the exploration
okay,
aspect.
Yes.
okay.
How
All right.
how they conflict with each other, how their perspectives clash when they present their arguments and when they present their resolutions, and when it comes down to them finally converging and colliding, that's where things get interesting.
Yes.
Because then you have the opposing sides giving their points, and 9 times out of 10 we find it fascinating at times because usually when there's a good writer attached to it, you tend to understand where the dark side comes from, but you don't really side with them completely. At least you try not to side with them completely, or at least you can't fathom the idea that you could possibly agree with the other side as well. So tends to run the risk of people of today that we've been dealing with of late, where I relate to the villain more than the hero.
I was just about to say that. Go ahead.
Again, we'll save that talk for another time.
Okay.
We don't want
Well,
to go on a long tirade about that. We've tiraded about that multiple times. I've tiraded my
Yeah.
share of it.
Yeah. In past streams, nonetheless.
hmm it's pretty much our genetic makeup at this point. But
uh,
other
uh,
than that, yeah, light and darkness. Can you name a few examples, or at least maybe one example? Final.
To give a recent example, without going into spoilers, Expedition 33.
Hmm. If you're not gonna spoil that one, then name another one.
what is
Name another.
Expedition? Is that a video game character?
Well,
That's
Okay.
it is a video game, a recent game that came out last year.
yeah.
Okay. I'm not that
But
knowledgeable of video game characters, so I had to ask. But continue. You go
yeah,
ahead.
Both
you'll
me
be
and Jeff
okay.
are playing it.
You'll be okay.
Okay.
But to name another example, um, I did mention Star Wars.
Are you talking about the Giant Sith? Then
Yes.
you want to elaborate on them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pull the trigger, then.
Right. Like you said like what Wolf said with that how both sides present their arguments and where I do think, although yes there is that, but where I do think where the Jedi and Sith given the contrast with each other and where they present this strongly is within both of their codes presented since Knights of the Old Republic. What is the one thing that both codes have in common?
You mean the Sith and the Jedi?
Yeah, what do both of their codes have in common?
What do they both cause? Okay, I got to think. If anybody else answers before me,
Connection to the Force.
What's that, Wolf?
Connection to the Force.
Yes. And where do their paths diverge when it comes to the Force?
Their principles and philosophies.
Yes.
It did.
Oh, look who decided to wake up.
And Dom actually said something. What was it that you said, Dom?
I didn't hear him. He was muted. Oh.
Yeah, he
No,
chimed
I just said seconded because I didn't want to interrupt the conversation.
Oh.
But although never explicitly said within the OG trilogy um or the prequel trilogy, because again it hasn't been brought up until Knights of the Old Republic. But this is where it becomes the most prominent with the Jedi and the Sith and how they both use the Force. Whereas the Jedi, they adhere to the will of the Force when you look at the code. Meanwhile, the Sith code is how they will use their own power to the Force. That's basically with, and given that the Force is natural law within the Star Wars universe, you either follow the will of the natural law versus imposing your own will onto that natural law. Which inherently, that's why the Sith would be inherently selfish by nature with this. Meanwhile, the Jedi are inherently selfish by or selfless by nature with that. Now, would one go too far with that? Would be with the case. In the case of the prequel era Jedi, with they do adhere to the code, but have grown a little too complacent into the Republic, and that's what became their own fall.
Indeed.
One
Uh, Go
rise
on,
of the
Don.
new.
What's that, Don?
His connection is screwery.
Oh, ah, damn it.
Yeah, that's what you had to say.
Yeah,
Are you
and
saying
now
the downfall of the Jedi because of their connection to the Republic?
they've grown complacent within the Republic,
Okay.
Well,
considering.
they adhere to the laws of the Republic, where a lot of people have viewed the Jedi as spineless and powerless, and in many ways, than one dogmatic, and yet here they are also telling to a Republic that's also corrupt.
Yeah, and considering who was in charge within said Republic, you would know why.
Well, also people caught a glimpse of that in the Old Republic, which continues on from not to the Old Republic 1 and 2 respectively.
Yes, and so, now that would be, questionable with, the whole Grey Jedi thing, considering the nature of the Force when using your own will, imposing your own will onto the Force. Basically, you just dig yourself into a deeper hole, like filling a, a void in your heart that will never be filled within that. Because once you get a taste of that, you end up gonna want more. That's how it starts getting, and that's the thing that draws you in to the dark side of the Force. Meanwhile, the Grey Jedi thing, I think was only just a game mechanic. I think in the Old Republic MMO.
Well,
Really,
let's
not
not
just a game mechanic. It's what it's not just a game mechanic. It is part like of the wider Star Wars universe. It even explored the distant past. That's like within the original expanded universe.
Yeah,
Because Jedi Order, or it taught people, for those who are force sensitive, of finding balance within yourself and not just in the Force.
yeah. But the thing is, with the Jedi Order back in, and that was still the earliest eras in Star Wars, that's still, people were still learning about the Force. And that wasn't until more and more started to come along, that's when the split happened, once people within the Order started learning more about that.
What's another example you could pull from with this trope?
With this trope, apart from the obvious.
You can mention something in Final Fantasy if you want to, because maybe it gives us reasons why you're such a fan of it. Do you have a Final Fantasy character? I don't know much about that world, so you'll have to
Hmm.
kind of educate me. But do you have a Final Fantasy character, perhaps that fits your example?
Uh, Actually, yes. Within that case, being, if represented through one character, That would be Cecil Harvey from Final Fantasy IV, where in Final Fantasy IV he starts off as a Dark Knight, and the very first thing that we see him do is commit an atrocity which he is guilty of, that being stealing Talon's crystal despite having nothing done wrong. Which, even though he questioned the king's orders on that, he still felt guilty on that, but yet. Or no. Yeah, he still felt guilty on that, but even questioning the king's orders on that, the king shunned him. But even with Cecil following orders from the king, which are all cruel, even with his nature of a Dark Knight, sacrificing your HP to deal greater damage, he's only causing more and more harm to himself. That's what Rosa tried warning him from, and is also partially trying to save Cecil from himself. But yet Cecil is still trying to command out orders from his own king because that's his home. But when the moment he decided to now finally betray the king that who raised him and Kane, his friend, although that would still cause him to hurt him more, that's just finally where he decided to draw the line when he saw the true machinations of what he's doing, of the king that he served. But the moment he later in the story, when he becomes a paladin, he doesn't hide behind hide behind this anymore. He doesn't have to use the darkness anymore.
Although he can switch between the light and dark.
Yeah, that's only in Dissidia. Dissidia is that's the major difference in there, because now Cecil can switch between Paladin and Dark Knight within Dissidia. In Final Fantasy IV, he did do that.
I could have sworn he did.
Yeah,
Game.
that's all. He did do that. It's exclusive to Dissidia.
We'll, again, talk about that some other time. From what Buddy Lord just said.
No, those are good examples.
I guess I'll give, I guess I'll give you one that I thought of myself and coined the term ever since I've seen quite a few of my quite a few examples quite a few examples that have uh, kind of set a trend. However, most filmmakers don't always nail this trope well sometimes. And are you ready for this?
Go on.
The platonic romance, which is in itself it can also be its own genre when it within the romance field. But I'm
Mhm.
beginning to have a thing for the platonic romance.
And what brought that up?
Well, since I've seen the movie Project Hail Mary, there was a whole sequence of subplots between two characters, both Grace Ryland and Ava Strat. The way how they interact with each other, the way how they talk to each other, it's a wonder. It's a wonder if whether or not they'll pursue a romance, or would they be able to be compatible enough to be in a romance with the way how they're so socially awkward with each other and around other people, or rather how each and every one of them click well with how they click well with other people versus themselves. I've also um I've also coined the term for this type of romance, the couple that never was.
Is
I'm not sure
okay.
if these tropes even exist or not, but I'm naming these tropes myself. Okay,
We'll
so
just
I'm
be. Is it? We'll just be friends. We can't work out as lovers, so we'll just be friends. Is that kind of where you're going?
uh
Not exactly.
that's one way to kind of describe it. Excuse me. Well, the simplest way is to call it platonic relationships or platonic pairings. But yeah, in a sense, it's they're so they gel so well with each other. They don't really. It's a wonder why they never pursued a romance or pursued a relationship in that way, which was always infatuate me. Sometimes it really keeps me interested, keeps me invested in their relationship. You know,
Mm-hmm.
or they didn't get a chance to pursue it due to extraneous circumstances.
yeah, they never. You, what make them the perfect example though is that ne- never once do they ever flirt with each other, let alone have this conversation of going out on a date or getting. They don't really even go out of their way to do the whole I would like to get to know you more type of thing. It's like there's a sort of air quotes love language between them.
You got that in. Well, I'm not going to bring that up. I'll wait till we discuss it to the movie more.
Yeah,
I'll let
there's
you finish. I don't want to distract, but I've got something to say on that about Project Hail Mary. But I'll let you continue. I'll get into that when we get into the movie, when we really talk about the movie more. But
hmm
go ahead with
but
your
there's
example.
a certain love language between the two that doesn't really that could easily be mistook for a grown romance, but also can be mistook as this is just how they talk to each other. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you could view it as romantic. You can also view it as non romantic. It's a very neutral romance between them, which I like. I really do like the way how they wrote it. I'm sure, of course, they're not romantic in the book. I assume I have not read the book. I would like to though. I would love to, in fact. But I'm saying translate into the movie itself. I was very invested in their interactions together, which I'm like, man, I'm happy and sad that they're both either not romantic but could potentially be romantic. It's like a very paradoxical thing that's going on between the two. You know,
Yeah.
I see what you're
another
saying.
example I can give is Mako Mori and Raleigh, the two drift compatible partners in Pacific Rim, which there is signs that there could be a romance between those two, but it's more of a sort of for her, for Mako's with her age, it's more a sort of for lack of better terms, despite her age, a teen crush or hero worship. Because Raleigh is one. If you ever watch Pacific Rim, they go out of their way to speak on Raleigh's experience as a ranger. Normally, people call them Jaeger pilots, but technically, the technical term that they're rangers,
Hmm.
and he is the ranger along with his late brother Yancey. They had very successful kaiju kills over I think a span of 5 maybe 3 years of operation. So you could coin her infatuation towards him as more of a sort of pseudo childhood crush. Given the fact that their age is not really specified per se, he's obviously a bit older than she is by maybe 5 maybe 4 years. Uh, in comparison to Stacker Pentecost. But like I said, what makes theirs special to me as well is the fact that, like I said, there's really no romance between them, but there's kind of like this tease between the two. You know, a scene where she sees him shirtless and she she gets Twitter page, she blushes, hiding her blush. Like a like a high school girl looking at her crush derobe for a change. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but there's also a sort of nice respectable camaraderie between the two as well. She listens to his advice. She follows his orders because he's the most experienced between the two. Jesus Christ, yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Uh,
We don't talk about Pacific Rim 2 ever.
moving
I
on.
I get what you're saying. I see that in other movies and
There
TV
also,
shows that I
I'm
watch.
gonna
I
add
see
this
that.
too before you continue, Leia. I'm gonna add this too. There are unique contrasts between another pair of Rangers in Pacific in the movie proper. Both Alexei and his wife. I forgot his wife's name. Jesus. They're a Russian couple married who pilot the Jaeger Cherno Alpha. So it kind of highlights a world building aspect of Pacific Rim of how drift compatibility works, or how the drift works when it comes to the pairs operating the Jaeger itself. So there was another thing is that they were growing a sort of a pseudo bro cismance together. So you can also view their relationship as such as well. It's kind of like a brother sister type of deal.
Yeah.
But if you're watching the film, you can also kind of see like there's kind of a bit of love, a, c- a bit of love language of you know marriage proposal, so to speak. There's like this conflict between Riley and Stacker, and it almost comes off as him trying to prove himself to be worthy of his daughter a bit. Is his adoptive daughter, mind you. But like I said, it they're also what they're also I believe the first on-screen platonic couple or platonic romance couple, because they set the trend of just embracing and not kissing
Mm. You said on screen?
on screen. Yeah,
Hmm.
I could be wrong, but
I mean,
they did set they did what is true is that they did set a trend, which is majority of the time the pair, man and woman, tend to embrace and or hug, instead of kissing like they do back in the '90s, the 2000s.
yeah.
Even though some pairs don't really show, you know, well written chemistry, and they end up kissing anyways.
I was
Usually,
think.
hang on, final. I'm gonna let
Okay.
you jump in. That's what I was saying. Usually, what we call when we call when we call that usually that the unplanned kiss is good to be alive kiss or happy to be alive kiss.
Hmm.
Go on, final.
Hmm. When
Go ahead.
the moment you said with with the pair, the man and the woman actually embracing instead of the kissing that you said it was like the first on screen thing, I was thinking back to Jen and would Jen and Wes's relationship from Power Rangers Time Force count as that?
Not really, because they actually are they actually are entertaining a possible romance between those two.
Mm.
And in that case, they're happy that the mission was accomplished. But like earlier, and even in the middle of the series, they have talked about being together, or the possibility, or she's there are times she has this very infatuation that's growing, that really translates that she really likes Wes. Like she's at the time she thought Wes's descendant passed away, So she was moving on from the descendant to the ancestor, which we're I won't say anymore because that's where it gets weird
Yeah.
and uncomfortable. Though we kind of okay it because both actor and actress's chemistry is just that damn good. we tend we tend to overlook it because it's that damn good.
Yeah.
Way better than her and Alex.
Yeah. Although
Even
it's
though they're played by the
completely although it's completely different in Time Ranger, the whole thing with Alex and what's his name?
and Wes,
Tatsuya? No.
Wes
His
counterpart.
Time Ranger counterpart, the Sentai counterpart.
Right.
Um I think it's Tatsuya, but I could be wrong. Because Time Ranger is a lot darker than its Power Rangers counterpart, especially when it comes to its villains. Although the villains are the major difference within
Mhm.
that. If you know, you know.
But yeah, I'm just like you got. I got hand to Project Hail Mary for definitely doing it the right way. Because most of the times, certain movies, they they, they, they try to tease the romance, but they end up not pursuing the romance and just trying to mask it as platonic. It's like no, don't do that. And the only way for it to work properly is if once again, me and Final had this talk before as well, because he brought up Catwoman and
Batman.
Batman, but I told him that's incorrect because they had a relationship. They pursued a relationship multiple times. They're more of the on and off again boyfriend girlfriend at this point. They're always an on and off relationship, so that's not really platonic.
Yeah.
Platonic means they never kissed, bang, or just date each other, or even had a date. You know, that's why I put Grace and Eva at the top because they never had a date ever. They may have multiple months where they're alone together, but it's not a date. She don't invite him to a date. He never asked her out. None of that. None of it. That's the only way for a platonic romance or a platonic relationship to work for me. That's my standard,
Mm.
and I'm gonna stick to that standard. I'm gonna follow that standard to the T. So if anybody wants to tell me the platonic romance, and I see how that thing works, and it ain't fitting my standards or my criteria, it's not a platonic romance. You just think it was because they never end up together. No, platonic romances only work if they never ever pursue a relationship at all. They just tend to click with each other in almost the love language of both being a romantic partnership and not being a romantic partnership. You feel me?
Yes.
So Batman and Catwoman is discounted from that. Um, I would say one in the DC universe comes close to that is probably no, that's more of a brother sister relationship between those two.
Well, this doesn't count. I don't think this falls in your category, but I was thinking about Bruce to Diana Prince. I guess I'm thinking about
Mm.
No,
the
they were
animated.
entertained in that, so
Yeah.
that doesn't count. Like I'm
Okay.
talking about intermission,
Yeah.
dating at all. Like they don't go out on no dates. They just like to enjoy each other's company. Period. And yet you're seeing the signs, and you're like, motherfucker, ask her out.
Yeah.
If if it don't, if that relationship don't make you do that, it's not a platonic relationship. Just ask her out.
Although, to be fair, they will do that regardless anyway.
It's because bro, that's what I was doing throughout the whole sequence between Grace and Ava. Just ask each other out.
Honestly, that was my reaction as well.
It's like, man, ask the bitch out already.
Of course, of course. I approach it like in a good cop level. With you, you do it in the bad cop.
Like platonic. Let me sort it out. Platonic relationship is ask her out already. Relationship tease is fucking bang already.
Oh,
There's a difference. There's platonic and then there's relationship tease, which means they're in a relationship, but they ain't doing a jack shit to each other. Just fuck already. Platonic, just ask her out already. That's how you know which is which. If it got tell her, ask her out already, that's platonic. If it got you going, just bang already, that's relationship tease. You know they want to go out, but they won't.
Yeah.
You know they want to ask each other out, but they don't.
I'm crying, man.
But I'm just saying that's my favorite. That's one of my favorite tropes that I love because it fucks with my heart so many times in a good way. It's like I'm just smiling like just smile at the screen. Just fucking ask her out. And then
Oh wait, I had one in mind, but that doesn't count. The moment you brought up the just happy to be alive kiss, I was thinking, oh wait, I just remembered that one moment with Wally and Eve, where the two are
yeah.
suddenly out in space, and yet Wally's got the plant, and yet she was happy that he still got it.
No, that's a relationship.
Yeah,
That's romance.
yeah,
That's the whole. That's basically the core thing of the movie in itself. Everybody always thinks it's the environmental thing. No, the whole thing. The whole thing about Wally is that it's a romance movie. Period. Bar none. It got little to do with humanity or saving the environment. It's a romance between two robots. All that other stuff is window dressing. It's centered around those two getting together, and they do in the end.
yeah.
Don't let anybody tell you any different. Fuck them if they even try to. Fuck them if they want to fight.
I don't think this I don't think this fits your genre, but it makes me think of with Doctor Who, for the show was Rose Tyler and the Ninth Doctor, played by David Tennant. There have been
I,
many
I
episodes that I
Wait, no,
have.
Christopher Eccleston was the Ninth Doctor.
Oh, the 10th Doctor, David Tennant. David
Yeah.
Tennant, excuse me. The 10th Doctor. You may not relate to this, Wolf, but I can understand. But being a Doctor Who fan that I was, or a fan of what it was good, I swear to God, I yelled at that TV every night, wanting the Doctor or just Rose to say "I love you," and they never got around to doing it. You probably can relate it, and it
Yeah,
just
that's
drove
it.
me bonkers. One time I yelled at the TV. I think this is before his last show. I'm like, Doctor, just say you love Rose. Say I love you, Rose. She's sitting there. She's looking at him, waiting for the words to come out, and like, what's wrong? Just
Although,
you all
to be
you all
fair,
don't get it because you don't watch Doctor Who, but I just felt that I knew he loved her, but like what is the deal here? Just say it. I remember just yelling
although
at TV so many times, and even one episode where I thought they were going to brace each other, but he got shot or something hit him or something, and it's like no.
although to be fair, it wasn't the first time the Doctor did enter a relationship with one of his companions. It makes me think back to the Doctor Who TV movie with Paul McGann.
Oh yeah, yeah. And he fell in love with that, and he was. I remember seeing that, and yeah, they fell in love with that companion.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that. Huh. I wish Paul McGann had stayed a little longer. I kind of wanted to see more of his Doctor, but I do get what you're saying. Wolf may not get to this. I don't like again. This might not be on where he was going.
Well, the problem with the relationship, especially with my criteria, is that it's rare. and it's also rare that it's done properly. Once again,
True, true.
don't think too hard on what is what exactly. Just know that it's rare. When you see it, you see it. When you don't worry about it.
Right.
I just saying like I saw it twice already in a rare occasion, and I've seen multiple times where it's done when it's done very horribly and incorrectly. Because then suddenly like I said, there's obvious signs where yes they want to pursue a relationship. Then suddenly at the end they're now in a pseudo platonic relationship. Like no, that's not how you do it.
Yeah.
Not how you do it. They're not supposed to be talking about dates. They're not talking about love. None of that. They're supposed to be there's ways to write dialogue between each other and make it engaging that doesn't border on romance. Though it in a subtle way it lulls you in at the possibility of there being a romance there. But you're also satisfied that they don't pursue a relationship as well.
Yeah.
No, but it could be possible though. It could be very possible.
For me, in some cases, that you're happy that they did pursue it. There have been some cases. I think of some relationships. Like I was a big fan of the Mad Men TV show, and I
Hmm.
could see many. There were many. I don't know if any. I don't know if anybody panel watched the show. But I was a huge fan of the show, and
I've
there were
only heard
many.
of that one.
Yeah, you probably never. Yeah, I don't think you've watched. But I was a huge fan of Mad Men when it was originally on the air. Right now, it's currently running. They're being
Never
streamed on HBO on HBO Max. But if you never watched it, I'm not going to go into it because you wouldn't understand where I'm going from. But I've
No,
seen there
go
were
into it. Go
Yeah,
into
just
it.
go into it.
Watch it.
well, it centers around four couples. The main character Don Draper,
Hmm.
and there was one particular woman that he pursued many sexual romantic relationships with, but there was one particular woman that he never pursued a relationship with, and her name was Peggy Olson. But they had a very platonic, loving relationship on the show. Of all people that did not like Don Draper, she was the one that always stood by him, but never had an affair with. Because in the ad office that they worked at takes place in the 1960s, Mr. Draper has had an affair with many of his secretaries and many people that work there, but she is the one he never crossed the line with. But throughout the all 7 seasons that show was on the air, she was the one that he was more close to and respected than any other woman on the show that he had an affair with. So I always found that to be very interesting that he and the character of Peggy Olson never crossed that line that you talked about. But they were the best of friends and they were there for each other. There was an episode where she was pregnant by another man, but she didn't want the baby out of fear that it would take away from her job. So he paid up the money for just getting rid of the baby. You know that word. And I don't know if
Oh,
I can say it on your stream. And he paid for the.
why?
She didn't want to keep the baby
No,
because.
why would you censor yourself from abortion?
Oh, I don't know if that. Okay, I didn't know if that was
Yeah.
appropriate to say. Wait a minute. Are you asking me why I wouldn't say abortion or on the show? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, why
Like,
would you censor yourself from abortion during the show? Everything goes.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to be sure. She wanted an abortion. She did not have the money. He paid for the abortion. Uh, I'm sorry. She didn't abort the baby. She gave the baby up for adoption, but he helped arrange for
yeah,
the
smart
adopt.
move.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. For the adoption, he helped arrange for it, and he told her he would keep it a secret from the man who got her pregnant, and he would take care of her in that front. So she and him only knew that, but the man that got her pregnant, who worked at her office, never knew about it because he helped keep it a secret. But those two never crossed that line that you talked about. There's one really great episode. If you get a chance
Well,
and
that
you're
was
curious and you peek,
chalk
it's
that
called
up
The
as a
Suitcase.
friendship mostly. Then.
Yeah, but very close friendship. Very
Hmm.
close friendship. It's just one woman he just did not sleep with. He would not sleep with her. And she talked about that. She said, everybody often thinks I slept with you, but I didn't, because this is in the 1960s, so she's trying to work her way up in an ad agency as a woman. But he's had affairs with many women there. But she was the one. But despite that, they had the best friendship. But it was really, I guess, platonic. It was a love story, but it was pretty platonic because all throughout
Mhm.
the series, they were the best of friends and they had each other's back, and they were always there for each other. And there's one episode like where they spend the night together and they do not sleep together. Great episode, great wonderful episode. But
Yeah.
there's never that there. Now there's another couple there, another two couple. One is called one character is Roger Sterling, and the other character is oh, I can't believe it's my mind, Joan Holloway. And their relationship started, and I, for the love of God, I never understood why the two of them would never get together, because the attraction is there, and they had on and off affairs. Even though they married other people, they were still secretly sneaking around. And I'm like, my God, I don't understand why Roger and Joan just do not just get together. They know they want to be together, they know they want to, but they
That's
just they
not
just
easy.
don't. And then one night they had their little dalliance, and she got pregnant.
Well, in that example, you're basically describing a star-crossed lover.
Which one,
Star,
Joan and Roger?
hmm Like
Okay, I
they have a sort of feelings towards each other, but they won't pursue. Like I'm talking about people
mhm.
that are not aware that they could possibly date each other, but they gel so well with each other. I'm talking about, you know, it's like they're talking, but like I said, as they're talking, it makes you say, "Freaking ask her out." Their conversation is so in tune. You like, man, none of y'all asking each other out. You ain't even talking about relationships, none of that. But you guys gel so well.
Yeah.
What you're talking about is star-crossed lovers. Like they have a longing to pursue a romance, but circumstances keep them apart.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So all right, I didn't think so. I just did it.
Yeah.
I was shocking my memories because when you were naming your trouble, I was trying to think of what couple do I know fit that
That's
in
a
going
good
through my
trope
memory bank.
when done well. That's a good trope though when done well.
And
Like,
FYI, the actor on the show that plays Roger Sterling played Tony Stark's father in
right?
Iron Man
Oh,
2.
You talking about
Howard Stark?
Yes, Howard Stark. That
not
actor, not
I
not
think
not
you're talking
not.
about Old Man Stark.
Hmm.
I think you're talking about Old Man Stark.
Yeah, yeah.
I was thinking of Dominic.
Not him, not his grandfather, but his
No,
Dominic. Now that Stark was the grandfather. Am I right? Or
no,
okay, all right. So he was the father.
that was young Stark. Old
Okay,
Man Stark
jump
is
to Iron
grown.
Man. If you go to Iron Man 2, there's a clip that Tony is watching of his
Yeah,
father.
that's Old Man Stark. I
Oh
call him
man,
Old
Stark.
Man
Okay,
Stark.
yeah, that is the guy that plays
In
Roger
Captain
Sterling.
America, First Avenger, same Stark, but I call him Young Stark.
Okay, okay, I got it. I got to get myself straight. Thank you for straightening me out with that. That
Yeah,
actor that you see in Iron Man 2 is Roger Sterling. That's on Mad Men.
Yeah.
So in the minute I saw that guy, I was like, oh, it's Roger. But people who don't watch Mad Men, you would
Yeah.
know who he was. But I knew who he was. But that's the guy. But on the show, he's very suave and sophisticated on the show.
I'm gonna say something final. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm only familiar with the show Mad Men, all because of what I do know from that is that a majority of the cast, actually all the cast from that show, are all in LA Noir, including. You
Mhm.
remember Ken Cosgrove, Leia?
Yes, I do.
Yep. His
Hmm.
actor, Aaron Staten, is in LA Noir as the main character as Cole Phelps.
You're right. Yeah, yeah, you are right.
Yet, all the characters from Mad Men, including all the supporting cast, are all in LA Noir.
That I did. I think you're right.
Which, that one's
Yeah. I
police
could kind of,
detective.
yeah.
It's sorry, Leia. It's a LA Noire is a police detective game set during the 1940s after World War II happened, and your main character Cole Phelps, who was a a war veteran from World War II, and now is working at the LAPD in various cases, starting from patrol before going to traffic, homicide, vice, and then arson, only to uncover various conspiracies as to what's going on.
I was gonna mention Zelda, but that one is it's that one's debatable
Yet,
because the way how the wording is when it comes to the localizations of all the games, in particular, the one I'm thinking of the most is Ocarina of Time. Every girl that Link interacts with, of course, Ruto is out, but like the ones I'm mostly looking at the most is Malin and Link versus Saria and Link, which as I'm saying, that one's a bit questionable because Saria doesn't really say things that could suggest a romance, even though it would be impossible anyways because Kokiri don't age, so they're perpetually children, which means they're never going to hit they are never ever going to hit puberty at all. So she can probably be scratched out, but I'm pretty sure some people have at times attached a romance between those two, a romance that can never happen. You know,
mm,
in the case of Malin, though, once again, she is also just a kid at the time. Though Talon does try to arrange well, jokingly arrange a marriage between Lincoln and Malin, which is hilarious. Um, Link and Zelda still questionable because mostly between those two, they're more married to the mission, which is to stop Ganondorf, the main
yeah,
villain of Ocarina of Time.
yeah,
Ruto, on the other hand, it is outright spelled out that she wants to marry a human, even though she's a fish girl.
yeah,
Nabaru, Nabaru, a lot of people throw a question mark over her for not the reason you would think.
yeah. And also, Link and Zelda's relationship would depend on the game. Like, Wind Waker, these two are actually siblings.
I'm mostly centering around Ocarina of Time,
I know that.
mostly because Nabaru says some choice words that got people head spinning sometimes on speculation, theorizing, and mostly accusatory. She's kind of she's kind of a questionable character in behavior towards Link on their upon their first sorry their last interaction. You know, before she becomes a sage of the stage of shit. What's the last temple? The sage of spirit. Doesn't help the fact that she dresses very provocatively. I'm surprised Blade didn't even interact while I was explaining this. Maybe he bamped off. Of course, like you have never played the game, so you wouldn't know. Yeah,
No, I'm not. I'm not knowledgeable in that part.
yeah. Ruto is very very relationship focused. And to be honest, if I had to make a finalized romance with Link, it would definitely go to Ruto. Why? People would ask. How dare you? People would say. Because he had the most interaction with her, literally. No, I'm kidding. No, my favorite, my in canon couple is Malin and Link. To be honest,
Yeah, and also in any other Zelda game, Link is no stranger to having a lot of women just be throwing themselves at him.
I'm at this point. I'm at this point convinced that he's asexual. I'm very convinced that that boy is asexual. Dude just have no sex drive whatsoever. And it's all by design. He's a he's married to his work. All iterations of him, mind you. Just married to the work. Questing, slaying, saving the ladies, helping the ladies. The ladies help him in return. You know, receiving booty and everything.
Oh, good.
Not that kind of booty, Leia.
Okay.
Get your mind out the gutter.
Says the one who is the pervert.
Hey, I'm honest about it. I ain't got nothing to hide on that front. Only fair one
Eh,
practicing decorum.
man.
Hey, I'm a pervert, but hey, time and place for perversion. Other than that, like, let's go to Dom. Now we've been on this for several minutes. I guess I really hit you guys real hard on that one because it was a curiosity, right?
Yes.
Yes, but it was
Dom,
interesting too.
Dom, what is your favorite trope? One of many.
Well, where to begin, huh?
Oh Lord,
Well, I
child.
could. I kid. I'm kidding.
Good.
Look, while I would have gone, I would tell you about like the Paragon, which is one of many of my favorite tropes. But instead, I'm actually gonna go with one that you don't hear a lot of people talk about, but it's been around, and that's called the game. The game comes to life. And a perfect example like of a work of fiction that utilizes that trope, Jumanji, both the book and the movie with Robin Williams. May he rest in peace.
I
Well,
like that answer.
that that's interesting. Go elaborate more. Why that trope means a lot to you.
Well, as the name implies, first, with this trope the game come to life. It's featuring stories of which like well, game, which like the features.
We lost them.
Wait, ah, crap.
Oh, oh, and I was interested to hear what he had to say. Why he picked that one. And did he have any other examples? Game coming to life. Would Ready Player One count in that category?
Not really.
Nah, because
Okay.
that's taking place with that's like going from one world going into a digital world, much like Tron.
Oh, okay. All right. That I was going to bring that up too. But so Tron is more of going into the world. He's talking about a game coming to life.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I hope we get him back. I would like to hear more.
He'll call himself. No, the game comes to life, which is as soon as you press start, it all the mechanics become lifelike and become corporeal. Not corporeal. What's the opposite of corporeal? Physical.
Yeah.
You know, is another. Tron is basically transported into a game.
Yes.
Actually, you know what? No, no. They're the same thing. They're basically the same thing. The game does come to life in Tron as well. So
Well,
that's a good example, Leia.
Okay.
Shit. Anything from arcade from Marvel. including Mojoverse.
Mm,
Then again, Mojoverse is basically TV land.
yes.
You just got isekai into TV land where he makes game shows and video games and all stuff in a he's bas he's basically what Arcade wishes he could be. Arcade is dangerous, but he's nowhere near to the level of Mojo. Mojo don't steal your eyes and replace them with cybernetic eyes just so they can enhance your vision and put cameras in it so people can be part of the action. Air quotes. God, that dude creeps me the hell out no matter what. Every time he's on screen, can y'all kill this motherfucker already? That's my reaction. Not that crass, mind you. When I was a kid, I was like, can somebody kill this guy already? Please, pretty please. I can't stand to look at him. And we're all quiet.
I'm trying to think of one because I had one on my mind, but I can't
Yeah,
think of it.
I was. Oh, great! He could have. Great. Welcome back. I couldn't think of one myself. That's why I was quiet. I'd say I was just focusing on my trope. But Dom has returned. Can you elaborate more on your trope, Dom? We'd like to hear more.
As I was saying before I got interrupted by technology, everything applies. The game comes to life. Life essentially is featured in stories like where the game where with the gameplay feature it serves as a rather important element. Where when the game when the characters are playing the game, either like the characters the game characters the characters are playing becomes real, or or alternatively the characters are drawn into the game as seen in Jumanji. But the other but like the another factor like occurs as well, where elements of the game start manifesting into reality. Now, usually, with most of all the time, winning the game is often not only the escape, but also it serves to undo the changes the game has caused onto physical reality. And when the game comes to like trope, it's usually done with either a board game, a collectible card game, or even a video game.
I guess you guess. Well, no. Ready Player One doesn't really count. It's a simulation.
No,
Yeah.
no, but actually, a recent example, like one of the recent examples, like other trope being utilized besides Jumanji, both book and the movie, is actually the episode of Gravity Falls, like where a Ken of Street Fighter XP was brought to life by Dipper.
So we can also
Really, with the character, he's a mixture of Ken and Ryu.
I'm quiet because I'm not familiar with that, but it's very interesting to hear. Is that a video game?
No, Gravity Falls is an animated TV show.
Oh, see, yeah, see what I know. Okay.
consider a whole ass government name. Just
There's
call it a cartoon, man, for short. Jeez, you gotta be all scientific with everything. Read.
Now I got one.
Well,
There is an episode of Futurama that's all about that, where all the games come to life and are now just like running amok in the city.
mhm. I guess we can start wrapping things up now,
Are you
right?
going to elaborate?
I didn't name my trope.
She's got a point. She did.
I have. I'm not going to be long. This is a very simple trope. My all. I've
I almost
commented.
choked on my own spit. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, Fine. Are you okay there?
I'm alright.
Okay.
Because I was thinking more like, wait, did Leia actually do that? Oh, wait, yeah, no, she didn't.
No, I've commented of all of yours, but I haven't mentioned mine. But I'll be
Oh, you-
very.
You named the damsel in distress, though.
Oh, yeah,
But
you
that's-
did say that.
But that's your. I was commenting on your pick. If I had a pick of a favorite trope, it would be the knight in shining armor, the
Mm.
aspirational hero. That's my
Mmm.
all-time favorite trope. The aspirational hero, the Luke Skywalkers, the Supermans, and the Steve Rogers of the world. That is my all-time favorite trope. That character that believes in people, the character that does the right thing because it's
Preach,
what was it, Wolf?
preach, Leia, preach.
The character the character that does the right thing because it is the right thing, not for any personal gain. Number one all-time favorite trope. You guys know this by now, everybody who knows me, but that's the number one trope for me is the I guess it's the knight in shining armor or the you want to say Boy Scout. I don't care. It doesn't bother me because that's the character trope that I enjoy the most. That character that believes in people. That character that believes in doing the right thing because it's the right thing. Because in all the times in the world and anywhere you go, or everyone that we've mentioned here, you need that such character in your story or within your group or someone that is like that. And that has always been number one for me. Going from Luke Skywalker to Superman, of course, to Captain America, Steve Rogers. That trope has always been number one.
Yeah, even for his own aesthetics of the gothic aesthetics that fits within his story, Batman certainly fits within that.
Yes, because he's the Dark Knight, right? That's his sort of
Yeah,
cliche, but and see, final, I do agree with you, and you guys will probably go into this a little more. I do agree with you, but I guess the problem I'm having, and this is the problem I'm having with Batman on cinema. I see it in the animated show, which I love, but I've struggled with Batman on film because I feel like Hollywood is focusing more on darkness than night on the night, and that's why I struggle. I know you tell me Batman fits this, but in the cinema, it's hard for me to see it. So every time I see a Batman movie on screen, I'm like, everybody tells me he's aspirational, but where is it? Am I missing something?
Um, cover that another time.
Okay, we'll go back to that another
yeah,
time and we'll get into that.
but in short, people would tend to have either a low opinion on comics, or which is always the case, and or it's they hire the directors to get them the comics and think they are fans of that just because they've only read those three rather than just reading anything else.
That's true.
There's also the low opinion on heroism too.
Yes, they would
One,
have a
yes.
they would always tend to have a skewed view of heroism. Matt Reeves.
And we will touch on heroism in one of the later episodes of the Real Millennials this year for the summer.
I'm a bit forgiving of Matt Reeves.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
'cause he can be still entertaining, but still don't like him.
Yeah, and yeah, Buddy Smith pointed that out, but that's also like a whole other. We'll get into that like a whole other thing, where it's the obsession with trying to make Batman like realistic. Like, yeah, like you have an entire Batman's entire training where he's learned from a lot of the masters throughout the world, trained his body to physical peaks, and you're telling me you're supposed to make him realistic even when it comes to his villains?
Well, really, with Bruce, he is one of the later examples of a Renaissance man in fiction.
Yeah,
We're hitting a conundrum where everybody just wants all their heroes to be awesome in some way, shape, or form that defies all reason as to sat, to satisfy or just plain just they just think that hero is their whole world, that they can never accept any flaws or any possible things that could possibly happen to them, what which was what we come up with the whole power scalers debacle and plot armor
yeah.
debacles as well. And I'm just so sick and tired of fans. at this point. I I, I love them, but at the same time, I'm like, can y'all just not? Can you please just not? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I know you love these characters. I know. I'll be with you in some areas where you have a complaint, but I'm like, just stop. Certain things, excuse me, certain things that they tend to criticize. I'm like, please don't do that. Just please don't do
much,
Yeah.
much like much like with the Future Heroes episode of the Broom Millennials, we will touch on those. We'll touch on those and other aspects of fandom later.
there are even
Yeah.
times I'm like, there are even times like I look at a comment, especially in a YouTube vid or clip, where I'm like, what you watching it for? If you're gonna nitpick every freaking thing,
Yeah, yeah,
you
buddy. I
that.
mean, absolute Batman.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is guilty.
Yeah. I have no fucking clue what people even suddenly all like about Absolute Batman apart from Scott Snyder?
Scott Snyder.
Yeah,
I tend I don't care about the absolute series all that much.
neither do I.
I'm just intrigued by their designs and their design choices. Sometimes when they land and when they don't land.
Yeah, people will turn back to the to the mainstream DC.
I'm very puzzled by Superman himself.
You mean Absolute Superman done by Jason Aaron?
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
dig the design. I also dig that the fact that the Robin family is a bunch of mech pilots.
Yeah, that took me by
That's a
surprise.
that in itself should have been its own freaking comic book series, separate from the Bat series.
Right?
I'm just looking at Absolute Robin, and I'm like, they turned the Robins into a freaking mech pilot group. Dude, take that shit away from the run and just make it its own fucking thing. I'll read that shit in a heartbeat.
You can tell. Well, with like you can tell with Snyder that he is taking many cues. He was like from Eastern storytelling and incorporating them with Batman.
Now, if I had my way, each and every one of those rods would have a different design looking mecha. Freaking Tim Drake would have an Astro Boy mecha. Stephanie Brown would have an Evangelion mecha. Uh, freaking
What
Jason,
about Jason Todd?
I'm getting to him. Jason Todd would have fuck. He would have Gundam,
Yeah.
and Dick would have Robotech.
Whoa, hey, don't leave Tim out.
I
No, he
just
just said Tim Dick.
They would have Astro Boy.
Hey, I had to make sure. Hey, I had to make sure that you got him.
You slow as hell, dude.
No, not slow. I gotta make sure that I heard it right. But even
Anyways,
Buddy,
he would
actually, but
have Astro Boy.
Buddy said like with Jason, he rather have get a Robo.
Get a Robo.
Ah, yeah.
I thought Dick Grayson would have like something like a Majin Gazetto kind of Robo since he's the first Robin and that'd be like the original mecha.
I have
That'll be a good like callback as well as a mythology gag, which is another trope. Which
uh,
that you see different like different works of fiction where as well, with mythology gag like it's pretty much the author like making reference
I did say
to other
work
media.
my way. Dick will have a Bear Tech or Valkyrie,
Okay.
and freaking
Yeah,
will have a Gundam because it's Jason.
Yeah,
That intense.
yeah, because
I'm
it's still
sorry.
gotta fit with him having like dual guns, because that's his thing.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter whether or not he has dual guns or not. It's just the fact that I'm picking the machines based on their personalities and their styles. Dick likes to, Dick likes to excuse me. Dick likes to fly a lot.
Yeah, and Magic Gazzetto also flies.
Um, Jason will have Gunner because Gunner it always involves guns.
Yeah,
Not
Or
wrong.
Astro Boy, or he's an Astro, or rather, he would have a robot. Period. Either Gigantor or Get Robo or Mazina.
Hmm. It's, fun-
But
it's funny. Like most of us are critical of the absolute DC line, and yet we're entertaining this idea Snyder proposed for the Robins,
and like I said, Stephanie would have an epic alien.
which is quite the choice of a mecha you want to give her.
She's been through so much shit. It fits. It tracks.
Touche.
yes.
Fucking criminal for a dad. Almost died twice. Got
Yeah.
erased from existence by the fucking writers. Okay. But
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Since you got them out of the way, what about Damien for mech?
Oh,
They
fuck.
probably be either an armored core or
Tekka Man?
Tekken Man's not mecha. Tekken Man's power armor.
Mm.
Um, shit. I scratched all the surfaces so far.
Ah,
Uh, with
Uh.
Damien, with his personality, most likely, would be. I'm already sifting through my catalog of mecha anime already right now.
Yeah. He always fights with a sword, so he's always got to be sword based.
Not really. I'm finding a mecha that fits his personality. Period. Well, as you say, he fights with sword, but like his hand-to-hand combat style would be
wait a minute. That's one. No, why not? Why not? Oh, Damien, you know one of the Gundams from G Gundam.
no,
Because Jason's already got Gundam.
he would be a Gaimelet.
Gundam. Hmm. Not bad.
No Escatol.
Mm.
Oh my
Uh,
lord, humble!
Is he here?
She's almost. She says she's on her way.
Oh God,
Oh, wow. Right when we're wrapping up.
we're just about to wrap up. Oh
But
my
he said
God.
that's a nightmare frame.
I
Ooh.
just think the aspiration or the knight in shining armor character is misunderstood. Also, I think they think they're boring and perfect, and they're not. I get so sick of the misrepresentation of them.
Yeah.
Similar to characters who represent the Paragon trope.
Yeah, that's really what that would be, Don. That's what you're saying. But like we already said, that's because people would either have a skewed view of heroism or have a low opinion of it. Because they're
Like,
trying to like make them into the mythic heroes like the Greek mythos heroes, which although they would have heroic deeds, a lot of them would end up in tragedy, as if it's like a ancient hero myth kind of thing. When the thing about that is that it's pointed out in Bruno Bettelheim's The Uses of Enchantment, where it's the difference between mythology and fairy tales is where mythology is meant to.
Hold on for a little bit so humble can jump in because mainly made this stream for her.
Okay.
Technically. We'll see
Okay.
how long it takes for her to get here. Excuse me.
Okay. But the point with mythology is that it's meant to explain the unknown, and explain the tragedies within how reality will strike back in a lot of ways. Whereas the fairy tales, they show us that yes, evil exists, but also tells that the dragons can be beaten. Go back to G.K. Chesterton, what he said, or even Neil Gaiman when he was paraphrasing G.K. Chesterton.
And I really like that rule. That rule like can apply to real life.
Yeah,
And to really put it another way, the world is not a crap sack. It's a
You
glass half full.
you can overcome evil, no matter how dark it is. You can overcome it.
yeah. That's not to
Yeah,
say that
that's what that's.
mythologies doesn't have like moments of triumph within that. They certainly do. But a lot of times, a lot of them would just end up in tragedy, saying, showcasing how the hero went from one part to another. Like it started here, then it went there. Like think for instance, King Arthur from his start from nobility and greatness, the moment he was destined for, and then um and then we see his fall a lot later over the course of time.
Who's watching Star Trek?
Yeah,
What?
I hear sirens.
No, not where I'm at. Just my fan going.
It's Dom.
Oh, okay.
Watching the movie.
Must be a very good movie. Yeah, final. That trope kind of comes to that, but then you have characters, and I think that's the problem with them. They think that the aspirational hero, well, he has to have a fall at some point.
Oh,
He's not relatable. He's not relatable because he does everything good all the time. I don't do it. And they said they missed the whole point. The whole point is to inspire you to be better.
Yeah,
It's not meaning to be
And-
perfect. It's to inspire you to be a better person. That's the point of the
and
aspirational hero.
there are people in real life who are like that. And one of the most famous examples is Mr. Rogers.
yeah.
Oh yes, yes.
Heck, even
Definitely.
Robin Williams even.
Mm-hmm. They're not perfect. They just want you to be better, to be a better person, not to just sit back and say, well, I'm a disgusting, lazy slob, so I'm always going to be a disgusting, lazy slob. No, you don't have to be a disgusting, lazy slob. You can put yourself together and be the best version of who you are. And that's the message that they're trying to give. And that's the message that they're forgetting. I really hate that cameo in, I'm trying to which one of the Spider-Mans, the first Tom Holland, when Tom Holland made his run as Spider-Man, there's a cameo with Captain America. I guess he's supposed to be doing a public service announcement, and it just seems so corny and silly.
Oh.
And I'm like, that's not what he's all about. Why are you doing that?
Yeah,
I don't like that. I said, no, instead of it's a joke. It's done to make him as a joke. Instead of until Peter meets the real guy and sees and sees
Yeah.
something like that. But
well,
but
you saw Chris Evans breaking character for a minute.
yeah, okay, yeah. But here's the thing. Here's my issue with this. And maybe I sound like a stiff in the butt. I don't care. I think you have to think about that's Chris Evans, but would Steve Rogers do that? And that's the thing I guess I'm going with. Maybe I'm being a little too serious, but I don't think Steve Rogers would do that. I don't think Steve Rogers would take it as a joke. I think the character of Steve Rogers would take mentoring very serious.
I like to think Tony Stark created a holographic imagery of him as a practical joke.
You can think like that. But I mean, again, maybe I'm taking it too seriously, but I've seen athletes, stars go mentor kids, and I've seen them speak and I've seen them talk, and they take it very seriously. Not to the point they don't get it, but they really give some good encouragement. Of course, my of course my baby Ilya recently went back to his old elementary school and mentored and talked to students, and it was a very nice speech. He was realistic, but he gave them a lot of encouragement. There was no silliness. He gave them a lot of encouragement about how to handle things in life and what it's really like to be an athlete.
We
It wasn't
have
serious.
the writers, Humble Marty.
Hello, I'm Humble Marty, and I am stupidly late.
Name your trope, Humble.
The floor is yours, Humble, and welcome.
Hello. What did you want me to name? A favorite trope or something?
yes.
Yeah, your trope that you liked the most, or what what trope that you saw multiple times became became an instant favorite of yours?
Fish out of water stories. You can blame the Crocodile Dundee movie for that.
Water trope. Gotcha. You want to name a few examples?
How the part where Mr. Dundee first landed in America, he's friendly to absolutely everybody, and New York, who was so scared of this single Australian dude, gave him this wide berth that was about as wide as the Red Sea.
I remember that.
The friendly foreigner.
Hmm.
That's a funny. That could be a fun trope.
Oh, it is always fun.
Mm-hmm.
Or the hyper friendly foreigner.
It's usually when they're brought to the United States.
Usually,
Mhm.
yeah. And as well, the way how they see the world, like one example is Paddington. Of course, Paddington being my favorite example of that trope, fish out of water trope.
Yeah, mine too.
Sometimes Popeye, if he ever visits dry land, should he visit, which is it's often, it's very often, but you know, dry land on a foreign land, he tends to act very differently around foreign bodies at times.
Well,
Not
another good example like,
a new
is
character in some of these
another good example is the Prince from Coming to America.
Prince of King.
Yep.
Mm.
That's yeah, you know, I'm gonna let that. I'm gonna allow that. Yeah, I you guys know how my brain works. I tend to operate on a set of that I place upon certain things. I keep forgetting, like, yeah, we just mentioned Crocodile Dundee. Yeah, King fits that too. Just basically anybody who immigrated or visits another state is technically a fish out of water.
Mm.
But of course, for that trope to take effect, they would have to also be just this otherworldly type as well, fitting into the material and real world, or in our case, our world.
Mm.
Well, another good example of a fish out of water are all the girls of the night Knights of Ray Earth. But also, like, Portal fan. Now, I'll be transported to another world, like Troll. Like, it overlaps with the fish out of water as well, because the three of them were literally taken like out of Tokyo into the world of Sephiroth.
Which that's already a thing that already comes with that, because that's always going to be there. In fact, that's always going to be there with the central character.
But the first like to really help establish that trope is a Yankee in King Arthur's court.
Yeah.
True.
Which, granted, it's time travel instead of being transported to a fantasy rather world, but it set up the foundation.
Yeah.
What's your next trope that you like, Humble?
My next trope that I like, let's see, going off the top of my head, the red herring.
Mm.
Ooh, nice. Now that's a great choice.
It's also a narrative tool. It's also called a narrative tool, but let's call it a trope for right now, for the occasion. Yeah, elaborate.
Okay, the red herring is basically a clue that's meant to mislead, and one of my favorite versions of that was off of the Father Brown series when G.K. Chesterton would usually pick the most offensive obvious suspect and get one of the sleuths to go on a raid.
Yeah, that never gets old.
Which I don't think you'd have a lot of modern writers do that because, well, it's not the most popular kind of trope to use, but
To them,
it is like also one you have to be pretty careful of.
Well, they tend to pull it out of their ass anyway. They pull any trope out of their asses a lot and misuse them.
exactly.
Only because it's only that way because they're being taught and told to always bend and break the rules when it best suits them conveniently. That's the issue with with these writers today. They're 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 basically just being told to throw the rule to throw the rule book over their shoulder where it best convenience them.
And one of the major factors that led them to this is how like how the modern English department like teaches them, because instead of actually teaching them like the rules, the tropes and everything else, it was like through classic works of literature and the like. They're instead they teach them the opposite.
To be fair, it used to be a legit trope you could use without any consequences back in like the early 2000s, 2005, 2006 maybe. But when you got closer to the 2020s, somewhere probably around 2023, what has ended up becoming the new subversion is a character actually playing it straight because they've had people expect the plot twist.
Yeah, that's rather fortunate. Some people have been conditioned to expect that. Yet, when a character archetype or trope is played straight, it catches them off guard. Whereas, like those of us who have been reading, watching, or playing works of fiction that have these tropes, because like we're not taken back by any of it at all.
There was one time I tried checking out a video once. Lady was gonna get hard, like do the full left wing sabbatical into like Has-Been Hotel and Helva Boss. Like, oh, this would be interesting to see. It wasn't as exciting as I thought it'd be because she was talking about offensive humor that didn't quite land. All the ladies being, I couldn't use her terminology, so we'll just go with Karens. And she really hated Stella. Like, okay, it's actually nowhere near different from what other people have critiqued the show for. But the music can be catchy and it does play to like what their audience wants.
Yeah, but it's what we call like safe, edgy, and irreverence. Whereas like it doesn't have the same bite, while like as materials of old, where it goes all the way and it's equal opportunity.
It used to have more edge to. Well, actually, the Amazing Digital Circus seems edgier than Has-Been Hotel. Flay me if you want. I roast marshmallows. I think the Amazing Digital Circus was a little bit edgier because it actually had the characters have like positive relationships before the emotional flack hit the fan.
And it's spite of its own flaw, its own flaws in the writing department. At least with Imaging Digital Circus, like it has rewatchability, and yeah, it actually does go all in with its equal opportunity comedy. Like nobody was safe.
Exactly.
Is that all you'll talk about tonight, Humble?
Let's see another trope off the top of my head. Well written eye candy.
Hmm.
Can't argue with that.
It is quite hilarious that some people have tried to call that male gaze character, and I'm thinking some of these shows, it's like, boy, I'm
Or wait,
actually
or
not a roll today.
let me help you out. Let me help you out. Like besides like the well we're in eye candy, let's also not forget Miss Fan Service.
That's
Yes,
the given.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay,
like,
that's a good
My
one.
favorite is Bootsy Steel.
Yes, Boobs of Steel. Well, we can't forget that.
Ralph Bakshi.
I'm still reeling over the fact that Humble likes fan service ladies.
Well, to be fair, one of the things I really liked about the fan service was seeing what all the cute swimsuits were like.
Oh
Well,
my,
not
but she's a fashionista.
well. There's also adding on to that. Now, like each of the swimwear that the girls and the women wear, it actually gives readers as well as the viewers there's like a glimpse of their character.
It does.
Humble, a fashion fetishist confirmed.
Well, there was that one part in Tenchi Muyo. I think one of the space cops
This is other fashion.
was a lifeguard, and she ended up with a tan line from wearing a T-shirt.
Oh yeah, I remember her.
Love the fact that she ignored what I just said. I just tried to call. I just tried to say Humble has a fashion fetish. She just ignored. I don't care. I'm gonna go for
There's
myself.
nothing wrong
You
with
draw
fashion
characters halfway naked, so you gotta at least make sure the covering looks good.
Cool. With that being said, I need to stop and take a breather. So, like everybody for being here. Those one of you and those nonsense motherfuckers that keep popping in and out. Yeah, I saw that buddy the Kickstarter for a brand new Ichimuyo series.
And all the VAs are coming back for the project.
Jesus, they're still alive?
Yes, they are.
You know how old that show is?
Yes, I do know. I don't know how old that show is. It also let me to read the manga.
That was a rhetorical question, but okay, but dude, I dread now because I dread these days now for old series to come back and in the hope that old voice actors to return because we got Gundam Wing on the way of being remade and we lost Troa
Oh yeah.
back like way back who was also Von Flanelia and our Goku from the Ocean dub
Yep.
Kirby Moreau.
May you rest in peace.
It's like, bro, whoever they choose to voice Troll is not going to be the same.
That's a big shoes to fill.
I also find it very cautionary because of what happened to Evangelion when it got re-released for streaming.
Ooh, yeah, nobody like that decision at all. Even if you've been critical like of the Ava series for years.
Trinity sounds like a damn baby.
Uh huh. And another example of that of old IPs like coming back is the recent Persona 3 Reloaded and the upcoming Persona 4 Revival.
Let's speed this along. We're definitely gonna do a sister stream of tropes that we absolutely hate. Today we did the ones we like, but we can also do ones that we have to have a balance. Tomorrow we're going to talk about Independence Day, our 25th birthday of our beloved country.
250th.
250th.
You're way off.
That's why I said
No, you said
You said
25th.
25th.
I said
You
250.
no, we heard you.
You said 25th. You were thinking 250, but you said 25th.
Look
Let me
here.
get out my
Look
powdered
here.
wig then.
Look here. I'm suffering from lack of oxygen. I can't think straight. Cut me some slack.
Okay.
I have to take my medicine after this. I've been really my ass has been kicking my ass this whole week.
Ouch.
But we're definitely talking about our 25th birthday, 250th birthday of our country of old. And when we progress, we're gonna do another Real Millennials show along with a movie spotlight. Haven't figured out what the movie spotlight is gonna be yet. Still deciding on that one. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me on everything. This has not been that particular of a year for streaming for us due to the circumstances of real life tipping in.
But know that we are officially out of the hiatus.
Officially, yeah, but we're just slow with it right now. Been focusing on my health for a while, and there's some other things that wants my attention. And I won't say a year. That's private. But other than that, stay tuned as always, and stay safe. Really, we're
And stay cool.
oh yeah, with the heat, we're definitely are nearing a tumultuous time, and I am very concerned for the tail end of this year.
Oh.
So keep your eyes open, look both ways, and take your earpieces out of your ears, behind you at all times. Thank goodness most of the homeless have been cleared out.
That's good.
So yeah, I'm very glad that the homeless is very scarce right now in my neck of the woods.
What happened with the homeless?
No idea. I'm also curious too, all the same. But at the same time, I'm just as happy that I don't have to see them for every damn block down the damn street.
Oh.
Either screaming at nothing, screaming at the cars, scratching themselves, punching themselves, tapping things, touching things, with their pants hanging off their behinds, looking rugged, looking messy and diseased. I hate to speak so ill of the poor and homeless. I really do. But see, but man, if you seen them in abundance, your perspective on them changes. Especially if you have an inkling of their circumstances.
Oh.
Not every homeless person has a damn sob story as to why they're poor.
Yep.
Some of them are there by choice.
And that is an uncomfortable truth.
I'm not saying all of them, but
Yeah.
some of them are there by choice, and most of them are there for the drugs, for the free drugs they get to take every day, every night. And if you give them money, that's what they're using it for.
Yeah.
But that's another talk for a different stream. But man, dude, there's some other things I need to tell you guys that I said to my mom one time, and I'm like, I hate. I was like, man, it hurts me to say this, but this is how I'm feeling right now. And my my attitude towards the poor has shifted because of seeing so many of them on the streets. Condemn me if you want to. Judge me if you like, if you want to. I frankly don't give a damn at this point. You didn't have to walk. Most of y'all probably didn't have to walk past them like I did.
Trust me. Whenever I encounter them like outside of my neck of the woods, I pretty much had to do the same thing.
Most of y'all probably don't have to tiptoe around their shit every damn day.
That's still nasty.
For once, there'd be times I want to pluck somebody that tries to judge somebody for having such audacity to speak on about certain things. I want to pluck them and just plop them. Like, motherfucker, here, you stand where I stand, and you tell me if you're gonna say the same shit to me on the fucking internet. I'll end off on this. Pray that we live long enough to see this era end, and we get to tell end, and we get to see most of our nieces, nephews, and next generation grandchildren and later generations. And the all chance, excuse me, and the all chance that they look back at the 2020s era.
Or even the 2010s.
So the 2010s weren't that bad per se. The 2020s is where it got worse.
It exacerbated.
Hmm. But they're going to look at the 2020s era and they're going to ask us, man, why did we act the way we acted in them times? And I will tell them, when we were afforded the freedoms that we so possess, we chose to be fucking rude to each other. That's what I'm gonna say to them. In fact, they'll probably ask me and ask, why did your side or why did that side respond the way they did to this side? And I said because the other side was so fucking rude.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm gonna say to them. Simply put, the other side was so fucking rude.
Yep.
But I take the neutral position that we all were fucking rude to each other. When
Instead of
freedoms.
instead of being kind.
Mm-hmm. It's like I'm not gonna ignore the fact that our side or any other side also had their bad apples too. But I'm just saying it's like we chose to be fucking rude with the freedom that we were allotted and afforded. That's what happened to us. That's why we responded in such a way. Doesn't matter who. It don't really matter who struck first at this point. It really does not matter anymore because a power keg was lit and it blew up
Mm-hmm.
with us along with
Well,
it.
the World Cup did bring a lot of positivity into it.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Especially like the Europeans like who are visiting America and like they developed a a newfound or refined friend appreciation of us.
Leave it to Humble to walk me back on the positive. Thank you, Humble. The Humble Survivors, Humble Marty.
Hello, I'm Humble Marty and I write things.
The lovely Leia Ballet plus size.
Hello, everyone. This is Lev Passage, your lovely lady of valor, and thank you for joining us in a discussion about our favorite tropes. If you have a favorite trope that we did not mention that you want to talk about, please leave it in the comments below. I'm sure Wolf will very much appreciate it. We love to hear from all of you, and if you know anyone that's interested in this topic, please like and share this video with others. We'd like to hear from other people as well about what is your favorite trope, whether it be film, books, or television. Until then, I like everybody, like you said, to stay safe. And if you're in states where it's boiling hot, like I am here in Michigan, please try to stay cool.
The Hal of the South, Donic Hal.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us in tonight's episode of the Rebel Millennials. And make sure you stay tuned for the future episodes that will occur this year, as well as the other episodes from our related shows. Until then, this is the Hound of the South, Dominic Powell, signing off. And remember, keep up the good fight of maintaining hope, idealism, and optimism alive in the world. Because remember, cynicism and nihilism are for losers.
The Warrior of Light, Final Fantasy Fan 12.
Well, that about does it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you saw, click like and subscribe and share with your family and friends. And make sure to ring that notification bell, that way you get notified of our latest videos. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. This is Final Fantasy Fan 12 signing off. And remember, may the light forever shine upon us.
This is your Will Commander Wolf 10. Also pointing out that Child of the Flower responded to my post that I posted yesterday about whatever trope fancies anybody, and she brings up the power of friendship. So thank you, child, for if you're watching this to the end. Thank you for commenting on the post. You're the only one who commented, I believe. I'm gonna check that right now just to confirm, so I don't have egg in my face. Give me 1 second.
Well, you certainly can't go wrong with the power of friendship trope.
Oh, that's a very good trope. Yes.
Yep,
That's a very
she's the
good one.
only one that commented and liked. I should have at the beginning of the week, but then again, I was still too busy trying to figure out what we're going to talk about this week, and tropes came into my mind by Wednesday. And then the post came up afterwards. Like I want to just ask that. Then I didn't. Then I did it so late. Nobody but a flower answered. Also, I'm going to remind you guys once again, you are Spacey. Welcome to the Wolf